You're now tuned into Thorough Black Talk with Tad, Keisha, and Ashe. Every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. Don't forget about our sister station, Constructive Talk Radio, Tuesdays, 8 to 10 p.m.
Greetings, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk Radio. With your sister Keisha, your brother Tad, and brother Ashe SJ will be joining us very shortly. What a week we've had. We got a lot to discuss tonight, family. Woo! I'm telling you, it was a hot week, brother Tad. How you feeling, brother? I've been seeing you doing your thing. Better days ahead. Fitness is keeping you busy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But life is good, unless a judge give it to you. But I can't, I can't complain, sis. Business is good. The ebb and flow of business still. I'm a certified personal trainer. I have that down to a science. But in terms of running a business, a successful, sustainable business, that's something I'm still studying myself. Learning. It's different from the cash and carry business I'm used to, if you know what I mean. This is a whole different animal. But it's good because I got a nice little team. We had the Zoom conference Sunday, which was excellent. We had our brother Mbwebe and Shangi. We had my attorney Pam Hamilton, my cousin who's a bank manager Cassandra Gordon, her investor Joy Jackson. We had our sister licensed therapist Jessica Abina Marshall was on the check-in. Am I leaving anybody? Y'all know that was our panelist, and that was co-sponsored by my sister Jane Duru and her team over at her foundation. It's an African foundation, so it's kind of hard to pronounce all the letters because it's a big organization. It's a big name, so I just shout out my sister Jane. But of course, we did a financial literacy Zoom conference, for young people and young adults, just to give our family the basics on learning generational wealth building. We always talk about economics and the importance of owning businesses. But again, we never really get our business cues from business professionals or financial professionals. So I felt it was definitely necessary. Of course, it was my coworker Jane's idea. She said, Cromwell, let's do something, because she's looking to bridge the gap between continental Africans and diasporan Africans, which I applaud 100%, because we do need to bridge that gap. Because I do hear continental Africans talk down about American Africans, and I hear Africans in America talk bad about continental Africans. But when we peel back the layers, we're in the same struggle with the same people trying to oppress both of us as a group. So our best thing is to unite. That's the only way we're going to win this thing. I'm not saying we always got to be kumbaya with everybody in that aspect, but nonetheless, we need to work this on our common goal as opposed to what divides us. And I think that was Malcolm's message when he gave that eloquent speech, message to the grassroots. A lot of times we constantly quote Malcolm and we quote the greats, but do we really peel back the points that they were making in those speeches? We can't just use sound bites of a speech and then just run with it like that's the end all be all. We really got to take the point that was given to us in these speeches. So Malcolm gave us our instructions to work with other Black people for a common goal because we have a common enemy. And speaking of the common enemies, how did you like the presidential debate?
Let me sip my tea. Hold on. I'm telling you, shenanigans. I love it because they're revealing who they are. Yes. And I feel vindicated.
Yes.
I feel vindicated, Brother Tad. But before we get into that,
I believe we're always vindicated. We're always vindicated. Every week we come, everything we say for years, we've been saying for years, they always prove. And if not, they even use the same verbiage that we told them that they would use. How many years ago we were talking about pistols and passports? How many years ago, sis, on our platforms, we were telling people to go to the range. If you ain't ever pick up a gun, you better start. How many times we've been saying it? How many times you gave information to join the NRA and what to do to become a registered licensed gun owner, to do it legitimately?
Yep.
We ain't been shucking and jiving. But Donald Trump, he spoke to his people to stand back and stand by. He ain't tell them stand down. He said stand back and stand by. That just means wait for my word and y'all can go.
We vindicated. That's all I want to say. We vindicated. We've been telling y'all. Let me tell you something. Before we go any further, I would employ all of you to please begin to stock up on essentials.
Yes.
Stock up on essentials. I was talking to somebody in Canada today, and they're thinking about shutting down again, borders again. So who knows? The way numbers are on the rise here, especially here since school started. What was it, yesterday or the day before? You already have an uptick in numbers. So the governor here in New York and the mayor are playing politics. But I would implore you all to please just start so there's not a rush on things, you know, as we have before. Just be smart, be wiser, and stay focused and stay abreast of what's happening, because, you know, these people are revealing themselves. Things are beginning to unfold. But before I get into that, or we get into that, thank you to everybody who showed up this Sunday at the Black Women Bike and Hike event at Shirley Chisholm Park. We had a great time. We had, I don't know, African Village. Shout out to them who came through. Sister Tara, Sister Shamila. We had the Friday night crew, the Friday Cool Out Night crew. That's with DJ Sir Scratch every Friday. The FNC crew ladies came out. Great to see and meet people that I haven't, you know, met personally, but we have a common goal or a common interest, and we came together. We had the UNIA, sisters from the UNIA out there. We had Sister Ray all the way from Miami in the building. A lot of my cousins and stuff came out. Swap was there. We had a great time. We had a great time. As a matter of fact, hold on, I think I got some pictures to show y'all, so that, you know, the next one, sisters, I want to see you in the building, because we was getting it in. Shout out to Sister Tim. I met Sister Glenda, Brother Tad.
Sister Glenda. Now, Sister Glenda's the one who got me into running.
She told me.
Yeah, she got me into running.
Yes, the queen of the FNC crew. This is DJ Sir Scratch's fiance. She came out, brought her friend with her. Sister Marcia in the building. Shantice was in the building. Telling you. We had a great time, family. My cousins came through. Shout out to them. Family, Veronica. You know Veronica is always on the scene.
Right. She always supports.
Always. You see Sister Tara back there. Sister Tara was getting it in. We had some fun. Those are my swap sisters. Shout out to all of y'all. Tashima, Tawa, Tiffany, Natasha, Kim. We had a blast. It was just a blast. You know, some people biked, some people hiked, some people did 3 miles, some did 6 miles, some did 26 miles. Sister Glenda did 34 miles. You know, some people hiked 6 miles. It was just great. And it just shows that we could come together for a common interest and a common goal and get some things done. It was really, really nice to see everybody turn out. As a matter of fact, you know, I was talking to the ladies. I said, well, you know, after it was all over, I'll see you all next year or what have you. It was like, what? We got to do this once a month. I said, okay, add more to my schedule, huh?
Yeah, right. Look, brothers need to be ashamed, because look, sis, the brothers be hitting me like, yo, I love what you're doing, better days ahead. I'll be trying to keep up. And I'm quietly recruiting brothers. I said, we got to get in the parks, and we're going to do our workout session, our push-up, pull-ups, and dip. I'm going to keep it basic for the brothers. You got to. But I'm like, man, we can't let the sisters keep outshining us, man. Come on. We got to make it a friendly competition. We ain't at ours, but come on. We see what's going on in the country. We got to get in shape. We got to get ready, you know.
Yes, indeed.
So salute to all the sisters that's taking their fitness serious. You know, definitely applaud y'all.
Definitely, definitely. And it was a start for some people who have never done that before. So that was great. And like I said, it was just a good event. I just can't wait until this thing with COVID is no longer a serious issue, because we could have had more women join us, but I wanted to keep it where it's safe for everybody. You know, there was enough bikes for everybody to rent. You know, those people who didn't have bikes. Sister Glenda got me stepping up my game now. I got Luke get a new bike. I'm going Saturday, Sister Glenda. I'm going Saturday. Get fitted for a bike. But it was great. It was great. So we also had Saturday Solid African event.
Right.
Yes, it was great. Great. I spent a lot of money. But we had some fun. We had fun. Great customer service, just building with people in the area. We had great conversation. And of course, family, you can follow Solid African on Facebook and on Instagram to get more information about what they're doing. As a matter of fact, I believe there is a basketball event coming up this weekend. We're going to wait until Brother Ashe get in here and we'll discuss it. But, before I move any further, I want to give my condolences to the family of Dr. Patricia Newton. We lost a real one.
Ashe.
We lost a real one. And when I saw the post by Professor Browder, shout out to him, I was like, what? I was taken aback. And I'm like, wait a minute, let me just read the comments here. I read the comments and I'm like, oh no, we lost another one. So, you know, before we go any further, let's just give our salute to Dr. Patricia Newton.
And we say Ashe. Ashe to Dr. Patricia Newton.
Hey, Ashe. You know, but that really shook me a little bit, because I was just thinking about her. I was watching a video of an interview she did on, I think, Happy TV. And it just shook me, you know, but that just tells us, family, you know, we're not here forever. We got to do the work now. We got to get busy now and stop playing games, because these people are not playing with us. And as we came in talking about this debate, you know, it really bothered me. But I want you all to get ready for this event coming next month, October 17th and 18th, The Prophecy of the Prophet, a revolutionary revival. over 40 master level courses. There are 30 speakers. Thorough Black Talk will be a part of the media for this event. It will be streamed. So get your tickets. Go to dtc1.org. That is dtc1.org. And you will see the flyers posted on our pages so you can get that information. I see my brother Ashe is trying to get up in here. I want him to discuss Solid African event that's coming up this Sunday, basketball tournament. I will be there. I'm coming through. We're going to have some fun. But while my brother Ashe try to get up in here, Brother Tad.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk about this debate. Now, this debate, if that's what you want to call it, but for the sake of argument, we'll call it a debate, was nothing more than a gutter street fight, if you will, between two thugs. And I don't say that just to be sarcastic, but that's what they are. And we're going to reveal some information for you all later on so you can see for yourselves. But there was no addressing of serious issues as it relates to Black people or any people. It was just a slugfest. And if this is the best that we can present as a nation, we in serious trouble. But I liked the fact that the two candidates revealed exactly who they are. You blatantly heard President Donald Trump address the issue of white supremacy and white supremacist groups. He just kind of brushed it off and pointed to Chris Wallace, give me a name, it was ridiculous. We're going to show the footage, but before we get into the footage, did you expect anything different than what you saw last night, Brother Tad?
No, not at all. It was everything I thought it would be and more. I'm glad he revealed his hand. I even listened to Joe Biden's language, which was revealing to those who study white supremacy. Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. gave us the compensatory book on white supremacy. Things to look for, their languages, their gestures, things they say and things they won't say and don't say. And I wasn't surprised. I was actually happy. As you said in the top of the show, you feel vindicated because they asked Donald Trump to denounce white supremacy, which he didn't, which I didn't expect him to. And in fact, he supported them because when he said, give me a name, he didn't denounce them. He gave them their marching orders. Stand back and stand by. I thought that was very telling. Being a former gang leader.
You saw that even Joe Biden didn't even force his hand.
No, because Joe Biden
do that. He's not going to do that. They are defenders of the current status quo. And that's where
that's about to say they're both defenders of the system. And I didn't really hear Joe Biden denounce white supremacy as well. I heard him use liberal rhetoric, I guess you can call it, to act as if he didn't care about white supremacy. But of course, we saw how he felt when he was on the Breakfast Club, trying to define who's Black and who's not, trying to be a spokesperson for white people, which has always been a problem with white supremacy, telling us what we feel and how we should feel. So Joe Biden then lost his cool points, and especially when he bragged about the crime bill. He called us super predators before Hillary. I mean, but of course, we always fall for the 3-card money, and it's easy to pick a bad guy and point the finger at him. So we'll all gang up on Trump, and rightfully so. But come on, we can't excuse Joe Biden either. We can't excuse any of them. But
Brother Tad, it saddens me because you have so many people who see the country and where it's going, where it's headed, and looking for a way out, and
Right.
fixated on the fact that they have to choose the lesser of two evils, when that is not beneficial to the country. It would not be beneficial to us as a group, as a people. It wouldn't be in the best interest of business around the world. Um, to see, especially our people, I can only speak from a Black perspective, but to see our people go in on social media battles to defend white supremacy. And shout out to the brother Ted. He posted, how can you be in support of Malcolm, be in favor of Malcolm, and then participate in the status quo? That's contradictory. And it is just that. It's contradictory. You cannot expect a different result. We've had oppression and aggression under Republican leadership and Democratic leadership. It is just a game of theater, if you will, that they put before the people, and we fall for it. Nobody is pushing them on the real issues at all at this critical time. And I'm glad, I have to say this, I am glad that in this particular time, Marcus Garvey can look down and see that there are so many independent Black mediums out here that are feeding information to our people 24/7. So you no longer have to look to other medium outlets for your analysis and your marching orders on how you should proceed. Now you have different outlets like Thorough Black Talk Radio. Of course, shameless plug, shameless plug. It is what it is.
That's right.
But we're going to show a clip, family, because this particular part of the debate was critical for me. And it will highlight on just what Brother Tad and I were just discussing. So hold on for this, family. We're going to share this screen. I recorded it while I was watching. Of course, I got to watch it on Fox because you got to watch their debates, who's funding the debate, and you use that medium outlet to get a better perspective exactly where, or if I would say officially, what those candidates want to say. So we're going to get into that right now. I'm going to share for y'all so y'all can see. Hope you can hear it clearly.
President Trump, you have 2 minutes. Why should Americans trust you over your opponent to deal with racism?
You did a crime bill, 1994, where you called them super predators, African Americans, super predators, and they've never forgotten it. They've never said, "No, sir." You did that, and they called you super predator, and I'm letting people out of jail now that you have treated the African American population community, you have treated the Black community about as bad as anybody in this country. You did the 1990, and that's why if you look at the polls, I'm doing better than any Republican has done in a long time, because they saw what you did. You call them super predators, and you've called them worse than that, because you look back at your testimony over the years, you've called them a lot worse than that. As far as the church is concerned, and as far as the generals are concerned, we just got the support of 250 military leaders and generals, total support. Law enforcement, almost every law enforcement group in the United States. I have Florida, I have Texas, I have Ohio, I have, Portland. The sheriff just came out today and he said, I support President Trump. I don't think you have any law enforcement. You can't even say the word law enforcement, because if you say those words, you're going to lose all of your radical left supporters. And why aren't you saying those words, Joe? Why don't you say the words law enforcement? Because you know what? If they called us in Portland, we would put out that fire in a half an hour, but they won't do it because they're run by radical left Democrats. If you look at Chicago, if you look at any place you want to look, Seattle, they heard we were coming in the following day and they put up their hands and we got back Seattle. Minneapolis, we got it back, Joe, because we believe in law and order, but you don't. The top 10 cities and just about the top 40 cities are run by Democrats and in many cases radical left. And they've got you wrapped around their finger, Joe, to a point where you don't want to say anything about law and order. And I'll tell you what, the people of this country want and demand law and order, and you're afraid to even say it.
All right. I want to return to the question of race. Vice President Biden, after the grand jury in the Breonna Taylor case decided not to charge any of the police with homicide, you said it raises the question, quote, whether justice could be equally applied in America. Do you believe that there is a separate but unequal system of justice for blacks in this country?
Yes, there's systemic injustice in this country, in education and work and in law enforcement and the way in which it's enforced. But look, the vast majority of police officers are good, decent, honorable men and women. They risk their lives every day to take care of us. But there are some bad out there. When they occur, when they find them, they have to be sorted out. They have to be held accountable. They have to be held accountable. And what I'm going to do as President of the United States is call together an entire group of people at the White House, well, everything from the civil rights groups to the police officers, the police chiefs, and we're going to work this out. We're going to work this out so we change the way in which we have more transparency in when these things happen. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to George Floyd. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to Breonna Taylor. Most don't like it. But we have to have a system where people are held accountable. And by the way, violence in response is never appropriate. Never appropriate. Peaceful protest is. Violence is never appropriate.
All right.
What is peaceful protest? When they run through the middle of town and burn down your stores and kill people all over the place?
That is not peaceful protest.
No, it's not. You say it is.
President Trump, I'd like to continue with the issue of race. I promise we're going to get to the issue of law and order in a moment. This month, your administration directed federal agencies to end racial sensitivity training that addresses white privilege or critical race theory. Why did you decide to do that, to end racial sensitivity training? And do you believe that there is systemic racism in this country, sir?
I ended it because it's racist. I ended it because a lot of people were complaining that they were asked to do things that were absolutely insane, that it was a radical revolution that was taking place in our military, in our schools, all over the place, and you know it, and so does everybody else. And he would know.
What is radical about racial sensitivity training?
If you were a certain person, you had no status in life. It was sort of a reversal. And if you look at the people, we would pay people hundreds of thousands of dollars to teach very bad ideas and frankly, very sick ideas. And really, they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that to happen. We have to go back to the core values of this country. They were teaching people that our country is a horrible place. It's a racist place. And they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Vice President Biden?
Nobody's doing that. He's racist.
You just don't.
Here's the deal. I know a lot more about this.
Let him finish.
The fact is that there is racial insensitivity. People have to be made aware of what other people feel like, what insults them, what is demeaning to them. It's important to people to know they don't want to. Many people don't want to hurt other people's feelings, but it makes a big difference. It makes a gigantic difference in the way a child is able to grow up and have a sense of self-esteem. It's a little bit like how this guy and his friends look down on so many people. They look down their nose on people like Irish Catholics like me and grew up in Scranton. They look down on people who don't have money. They look down on people who are of a different faith. They look down on people who are a different color. In fact, we're all Americans. The only way we're going to bring this country together is bring everybody together. There's nothing we cannot do if we do it together. We can take this on and we can defeat racism in America.
President Trump, sir.
During the Obama-Biden administration, there was tremendous division. There was hatred. You look at Ferguson, you go to many places. Look at Oakland. Look what happened in Oakland. Look what happened in Baltimore. Look what happened. Frankly, it was more violent than what I'm even seeing now. But the reason is that the Democrats that run these cities don't want to talk like you about law and order.
Violent
You
crime,
still haven't mentioned.
violent
Are you in
crime.
favor of law and order?
I'm in favor of law. You follow.
Are you
me
in
that
favor
little
of
bit
law and order? Come on,
That's
say
not
it.
a-
You ask a question, let him finish.
Law and order.
This is
Law and order. Law and order with justice, where people get treated fairly. And the fact of the matter is, violent crime went down 17%, 15% in our administration.
All right.
It's gone up on his watch.
Went down
He-
much more.
he
than
had-
ours.
All right, we're
He
now,
is
you're,
President
Mr.
of the
President,
United
you're going
States
to,
of America.
Mr. President,
Every record in the book.
Mr. President, you're going to be very happy because we're now going to talk about law and order.
Places we had trouble with Democratic-run cities.
That's exactly my question. There has been a dramatic increase in homicides in America this summer, particularly, and you often blame that on Democratic mayors and Democratic governors, but in fact, there have been equivalent spikes in Republican-led cities like Tulsa and Fort Worth. So the question is this really a party issue?
I think it's a party issue. You can bring in a couple of examples, but look at Chicago, what's going on in Chicago, where 53 people were shot and 8 died shot. If you look at New York, where it's going up like nobody's ever seen anything, the numbers are going up 100, 150, 200%. Crime. It is crazy what's going on. And he doesn't want to say law and order because he can't, because he'll lose his radical left supporters. And once he does that, it's over with. But if he ever got to run this country and they ran it the way he would want to run it, we would have our suburbs would be gone. By the way, our suburbs would be gone, and you would see problems like
He
you've never
wouldn't
seen.
know a suburb unless he took a wrong turn.
Oh, I know
He
suburbs.
would not. I was raised in the suburbs. This is not 1950. All these dog whistles and racism don't work anymore. Suburbs are by and large integrated. There's many people today driving their kids to soccer practice and or to black and white and Hispanic in the same car as there have been any time in the past. What really is a threat to the suburbs and their safety is his failure to deal with COVID. They're dying in the suburbs. His failure to deal with the environment. They're being flooded. They're being burned out because his refusal to do anything. That's why the suburbs are in trouble.
I do want to talk about this issue of law and order, though. And in the joint recommendation that came from the Biden-Bernie Sanders task force, you talked about, quote, reimagining policing. First of all, what does reimagining policing mean? And do you support,
It means
let me, if I might finish the question, what does reimagining policing mean? And do you support the Black Lives Matter call for community control of policing?
look, what I support is the police having the opportunity to deal with the problems they face. And I'm totally opposed to defunding the police officers. As a matter of fact, local police, the only one defunding it, his budget calls for a $400 million cut in local law enforcement assistance. They need more assistance. They need, when they show up for a 9/11 call, to have someone with them as a psychologist or psychiatrist to keep them from having to use force and be able to talk people down. We have to have community policing like we had before, where the officers get to know the people in the communities. That's when crime went down. It didn't go up, it went down. And so we have to be engaged.
That's not what they're talking about,
That-
Chris. That's not what.
That's
He's talking about
exactly,
defunding the police.
that is not true.
He doesn't have any law.
Well,
He has no law enforcement.
That's not
support,
true.
Almost
That's
nothing.
not, look,
Oh, really? Who do you have? Name one group that supports you. Name one group that came out and supported you. Go
look,
ahead.
look,
Think. We have time.
we don't have time to do
No,
anything.
think
about
Listen,
it.
look,
Name
folks,
one law enforcement group that came out and
I think,
supported
gentlemen,
you.
I think I'm going to take back the
There aren't.
moderator's
I don't
role,
think there
and
are any.
I want to get to another subject, which is the issue of protests in many cities that have turned violent. In Portland, Oregon, especially, we had more than 100 straight days of protests, which I think you would agree. You talk about peaceful protests. Many of those turned into riots. Mr. Vice President, you say that people who commit crimes should be held accountable. The question I have, though, is as the Democratic nominee, and earlier tonight you said that you are the Democratic Party right now, have you ever called the Democratic mayor of Portland or the Democratic governor of Oregon and said, hey, you got to stop this, bring in the National Guard, do whatever it takes, but you'd stop the days and months of violence in Portland?
I don't hold public office now. I am a former vice president. I've made it clear in my public statements that the violence should be prosecuted. it should be prosecuted. And anyone who commits it
But
should
you've
be
never called
prosecuted.
for the people, the leader, excuse me, sir. You have never called for the leaders in Portland and in Oregon to call and bring in the National Guard and knock off 100 days of riots.
They can, in fact, take care of it if you just stay out of the way. Look here.
Oh, really?
Here.
Oh, really?
Here's
Well,
the
no,
thing.
no,
I
that's-
sent
sorry,
in the
no, wait, I
U.S.
asked you a
Marshals to
question.
get the killer of a young man in the middle of the street, and they shot him. And for 3
Mr.
days,
President Trump,
Portland
President
wouldn't do
Trump,
anything.
I
I sent in the U.S. Marshals,
President
they
Trump,
took care of business.
go ahead, sir.
And by the way, his own former spokesperson said, riots and chaos and violence help his cause. That's what this is all
I
about.
don't know who said that.
I do.
Who?
I think Kellyanne Conway.
I don't think she said.
She said that.
I
And
don't-
so here's the point.
Go
The
ahead.
point is that's what he is, keep trying to rile everything up. He doesn't want to calm things down. Instead of going in and talking to people and saying, let's get everybody together, figure out how to deal with this. What's he do? He just pours gasoline in the fire constantly and every single solitary
Okay,
time.
and to end this, button up this segment, I'll give you a minute to answer, sir. You have repeatedly
I
criticized.
have to answer his
No,
stuff.
you have
His statement?
repeatedly,
Wait,
you have
just
repeatedly,
one
no,
second.
you've been talking
You
back
made
and
a
forth.
statement.
I'm asking you.
I would love to
know,
end it.
sir.
I would love to end it.
If you want to switch seats, we
Would
could
very quickly.
We can do that, but I'm
Send
no,
in the National Guard, it would be over. There'd be no problem.
Okay.
But they don't want to accept the National Guard.
You have repeatedly criticized the vice president for not specifically calling out Antifa and other left-wing
That's right.
extremist groups. But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups
Sure.
and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland? Are you
I'm willing
prepared to
do that,
specifically
but
do it?
I
Go
would
ahead,
say, almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right
So
wing.
what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see
Well, then
peace.
do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
You want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name. Go ahead.
supremacists
Who
and
would
right
you like me to condemn?
supremacists and right
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem.
His
This
own
is a left.
FBI director.
This
said,
is a left-wing
"Threatening white supremacists. Antifa's an idea."
What the hell is that? What the hell do you mean Antifa is an idea? First of all, let me just say this. Both men have defended white supremacy in that clip.
Yeah.
Biden said to white nationalists, Trump, President Trump said to white nationalist groups to stand back and stand by. Now, I've said on this program, or we've said on this program many times before, that the membership in white nationalist groups are on the rise. Not only are they not on the rise, but the money and the philosophy that is funneled to these groups comes straight from the top. Straight from the top. He said, and I quote, Mr. Biden, Antifa is an idea. Really, we show footage on this program. The leadership of Antifa explain to you very clearly that they are not just an idea, that they are a world-renowned fashion that has wreaked havoc. I've said it many times on this program. What you see before you is the new civil war, the Federalists against the anti-Federalists, Federalists being the Democrats, anti-Federalists being the Republican Party. They want small government. Democrats want big government. But in that moment, former President, Vice President Biden, if he really wanted to appeal to the black vote, could have outlined, instead of bantering with the president, could have outlined specific judicial punishment, if you will, for those who break the law who are in uniform, for those who break the law who claim to be patriots if you will, hiding behind various groups as the Proud Boys, the Rise Above movement. You have Adam Waffen, so many others. So then when Trump threw out, give me a name, it's so many of them. It's so many of them. And this is not new. The government has always used illegal facets to instill hate upon Black people. Go back to the Klan. If you look at the era of the 50s and the 60s, they used the mob. Peace be upon Steve Coakley. He warned us of this. He warned us. He warned us. Trump is a student of Roy Cohn. Roy Cohn is a fixer. Some of you, I know you watched what's that show that came on? I don't know, with Kerry Washington. I forget the name of it, but anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, she was a fixer. Scandal. Thank you, brother Ashe. She was a fixer. That's what Roy Cohn was. For many years in the political realm. That's who trained Donald Trump. And I'm not just throwing this out. We got proof of it. You had people like Joe Biden who used the same sympathetic rhetoric to appeal to the Black vote without no tangibles on the table. I'm an Irish Catholic. We work hard. People like him, they got the money. They look down on us. Joe Biden is very wealthy. What are you talking about? They had an argument about living in the suburbs. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. But this is where we're at. We cannot continue to give up our vote and have nothing in return. And don't tell me because our ancestors died for that. Because I'm going to show you some images of those who did fight for the right to vote and what they
froze up, sis.
did with it.
Yeah.
They didn't. There we go. We good. I think. All right. But that's where we're at right now. So, Brother Ashe SJ, I see you just got up in here. Give me your thoughts, brother, on that clip of the debate that took place the other night.
Yeah, what's the word, family? It's your brother Ashe SJ on the check-in. Shout out to my brother Tad, sister Keisha, holding it down while I was in the background. But yeah, man, this is a circus. It's a circus, man. We already know what it is. We already know it's politics as usual. Politics, I mean, unless it's hood politics, community politics, these politics ain't serving us no good, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing. It's the same exact wool they pulling over our eyes. You know, when you're looking at Trump or you're looking at Biden, you're looking at the Democrats, the Republicans, red, blue, right wing, left wing. You're looking at the same exact thing, family. It's just different methods that they feeding you the BS. You know, so when it comes to Trump, I mean, back in the days, we all know he put himself on blast back in the days when he put out that ad about the Central Park 5. You know, he talking about bring back the death penalty. Then you got Biden in 94 talking about lock up the SOBs, lock up the sons of bees. When he was referring to the crime bill and how he supported that, that was his quote. He said, lock up the sons of bees. So you got Trump, bring back the death penalty. You got Biden, lock up the sons of bees. You know what I'm saying? It's the same exact thing. It don't matter what side, red or blue tie, whatever you want. Because Trump, you dealing with the far right, and Biden, you dealing with the far left. You know what I'm saying? What you want? You want white supremacists or Antifa? KKK or Antifa? Which one you want? What's your poison? Pick your poison. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the same thing. And they try to make it seem like Antifa, like that's a positive thing. Oh, anti-fascist. Yeah, right. Because we already know that Antifa is the ones that's out there busting heads, being violent at the protests, the Black Lives Matter protests. That's Antifa, the ones out there spray painting, breaking stuff, breaking in, stealing stuff, while some of our Black brothers and sisters is out there trying to have peaceful protests. Antifa is out there wilding for the night, setting fires, burning stuff down. And that's because most of them is paid by George Soros anyway. This ain't just things rhetoric we just throwing out. You could look that up. Antifa is paid by George Soros and so many other undercover organizations that don't have no good set out for our people. And we falling for the okie doke. We falling for the tricks. So you want KKK, Trump, who gonna give it to you blatant and say we don't like y'all? Or you want somebody that's gonna poison you slowly in your food, make it look pretty, make it like a delicacy when really it's poison on the inside. It's the same exact thing. This is what we dealing with in this day and age, family. And the fact that we got these goddamn celebrities, like we always talk about up here on Thorough Black Talk, these celebrities is out here. They just had that on TV. I think it was 2 or 3 days in a row. They had the iHeartRadio concert series. So you in your house, you can't go outside, you can't go to no concert. You happy as hell to see Usher. Who else was there? Migos. That's the big rap group the kids love now. Migos, like big people, big names, not just white people, Black people in this iHeartRadio show. And at the end of every show, matter of fact, in the middle of every show, I think it was like every 5 minutes, you got them pushing this agenda for you to get out there and go vote. Now, they ain't telling you to vote for Trump. That's evident. They're not telling you to vote for Trump, but they ain't saying specifically vote for Biden, but they definitely don't want you to vote for Trump. So they pushing Biden, they pushing the Democrats, just like the celebrities in these past decades, so on and so forth in history, have doing the same exact thing, pushing that. Somebody posted a meme online. It was like, people keep talking about voting. Well, we've been voting Democrat for the past how many decades? Like, and the same thing is happening. It's getting worse and worse. So tell me what the hell is voting going to do, family? But people are still up here talking about let's get out here and vote, make a difference. Show me a difference, family. What difference is going to happen? You know what I'm saying? The only difference is it's going to be a different devil in a different suit and tie. You know what I'm saying? On that podium, collecting all of this money from these donations that they get and sitting back, lamping, relaxing. You know what I'm saying? Taking advantage of these proceeds and things of that nature that they're getting. And it's all false promises. They always say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that when we get in the office. Then they get in the damn office, they got the funds, they got the power, they got the census, they got all of the goddamn information, and they don't do a goddamn thing for Black people, family. They don't do nothing. When they got the power, they got the full ability to do stuff. And then these celebrities want to pull a wool over your eye and make it seem like they doing something. Like, oh, they gonna really hold people accountable. As soon as they start pulling their checks away, these celebrities, as soon as they stop getting their contracts signed and getting their TV shows taken away, you're gonna see more Nick Cannons out here. People apologizing. People, matter of fact, not even just apologizing, turning over. I think Nick Cannon, last time I checked, he was a Hasidic Jew now. I can't even do it with my locks. Again, he had the little curly little joint and the little kufi, the yarmulke. I don't know what you call that joint. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looked like. Like he then converted into being a so-called Hasidic. That's how much he backtracking on the words that he said.
Watch them celebrities.
So we got to be very careful. You know what? To touch on what you was talking about earlier, before I got in, it's crazy, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna share this with you.
They all buddies. Come on, family. Check it out right here. They all buddies. Buddies.
Yep.
All buddies. Go way back.
Exactly.
Go way back. So don't fall for the okie doke, because this is gonna continue to be our situation.
And you know what I wanted to say
like that?
Because this thing is really a circus, family. Like, not even just the politicians, man, but the media. You know, and that's why Sister Keisha was saying earlier about supporting independent Black media, family. We definitely got to do that. We definitely got to do that. We can't be having those celebrities up here talking politics when they don't know nothing about no politics a day in their life. And now all of a sudden they're a politician, leading the people in the wrong ass goddamn direction. You know what I'm saying? We got to tell our stories, our real truths, and put it out there to the people so the real general masses of Black people that's concerned Africans can really get on point and be like, yo, we're not falling for this. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to say that because they talking about, I read an article today, they talking about this dude for the next debate, right? The next presidential debate is going to be moderated by this guy named Steve Scully. Steve Scully is a white news anchor from C-SPAN. He specifically is a Biden supporter. In fact, at multiple occasions, you can see him in photos supporting Biden, him and Biden all hugged up, buddy, donating, all of that. Matter of fact, this dude, Steve Scully, actually wrote an article saying Trump never, not ever, saying that we can never have him as a president. And this is the people that they choose to be moderators of this thing, family. So this is telling you that the media is one-sided, it's lopsided. Not that I'm no Trump supporter, but I damn sure ain't no Biden supporter, and I damn sure ain't no white devil media supporter. But they are always gonna dish out the stories that they want our people to scoop up with a biscuit and eat it up. They're gonna dish out whatever they want. And this is why the Democrats have right now to this day the public's view and the public's eye thinking that they are for Black people, that they are better than the Republicans. When really we know that the Democrats back in the days of slavery and Jim Crow and all that were the ones that would be in the super devils. They want to call us super predators. I'm calling their asses super devils. That's what they is. So, but this is what we talking about when we talking about media. The media has literally flipped the script and made the Democrats the good guy and the Republicans the bad guy. And they doing it to this day and age. So this guy, Steve Scully, is going to be the next moderator of the presidential debate. When they have the second debate, it's going to be Steve Scully. He's clearly a Biden supporter. So now Trump and his whole side, they going hard trying to expose this dude, Steve Scully. You know what I'm saying? Because regardless of whether you know Trump is an idiot, sometimes he does say some real stuff. Because like when it comes to this whole media thing, if you turn on CNN, you ain't gonna hear one goddamn second without them putting Trump on blast. It's like CNN has become Trumping. Like you turn on CNN, all you hearing about is Trump every 2 seconds. Like it ain't no more goddamn articles or events happening in the world. You know what I'm saying? Every 2 seconds on your iPhone, you getting a notification about Trump on CNN. Meanwhile, his brothers and sisters getting murdered. Matter of fact, we had an Amber Alert in New York City like 3 days in a freaking row. We had an Amber Alert like 3 days in a row, fam. Why I don't get no notification of that on CNN? But I could get that I'm about to curse. I could get that on my cell phone, but you don't see none of that. No real articles on CNN. All you seeing is notifications on your phone and on CNN talking about Trump bad, Trump is horrible. What did Trump do next? Trump just took a dump. Like every goddamn thing they talk about Trump. So yeah, Trump is horrible. He's a devil, but damn, y'all clearly trying to guide me in the direction to make me vote for Biden or whoever is the opposite of Trump. And Black people is falling victim to that so much. So we got to pull a wool off of our eyes. Or the assault against us is coming on many different fronts, family. And we can't just fall victim to, this is bad right here, so I'm gonna go to this because this is obviously good. That's not what's happening, family. Because when Trump made that statement about stand by and stand back, that was actually, he utilized his media because he knows exactly how it goes. So he's sending messages out to people. He's playing a freaking game because he know that it's a game and they trying to play him. So he's playing the game as well. So what he does is he throws a little clues out there. Then he might retract it a little bit just to cover itself, but the damage has been done. So he already threw the clue out there to the other devils. They call themselves the Proud Boys. Mind you, the Proud Boys have been on multiple occasions, multiple times when we had protesters out there.
Come on, brother.
All of these things, it's the same crew, the Proud Boys. So back in I believe, well, when they had the Charleston event that was going down, the shooter happened out there. Then you had the Charleston protesters. The far right started protesting. They was clapping people out there. They protesting all of that, shooting other white people, shooting other white people. Far right, civil war, like we said. So when they was out there, the Proud Boys was out there.
Facts.
And they were the ones that was going hard, beating people up. You know what I'm saying? Doing all kind of craziness out there in Charleston.
And mixed amongst the people. Y'all out there protesting with Black Lives Matter, which you should stay away from. But we showed you footage here a couple of weeks ago where Proud Boys was amongst the Black Lives Matter protest. Watching you. Watching you. So we got to stay focused and stop that rhetoric. Go ahead, brother.
But you know what? After I was going to say, because they was out there at Charleston, but then they was also in New York 2 years ago, 2018, an article popped up. They was in Manhattan and they stomped out, it was like maybe 3 or 4 Proud Boys, and they stomped out some other 2, like either white or Spanish people out there in Manhattan.
That's right.
Stomped them out. That was on the news, Proud Boys. Now, after Trump, I'm going to share my screen, because after Trump made this little clue that he threw out there, this little faint piece of information he threw out to the Proud Boys, he said, stand by, what he said? Stand by and stand
back and stand by.
Stand back and stand by, family. Listen, after he said that, I'm going to share my screen real quick. The Proud Boys was out there celebrating. They was celebrating, family.
Facts.
Because they know it's encrypted messages that he's sending. So we might see it, and then Trump would be like, oh, he'll say something to try to retract it, right? Try to make it seem like he retracting it. He ain't retracting a goddamn thing, family. Check this out right here. Let me share my screen. Y'all see this? Hold on, not this one. I got it right here. Boom. Amazon blocks sale of merchandise with stand back and stand by. Family, after Trump made that little encrypted message that he sent out, the Proud Boys went online and started creating merchandise. Family.
Come
Watch
on.
this video right here.
Very fine people on both sides.
That's another thing.
One of the biggest moments in the debate, as Ed reported tonight, the president is being rebuked by members of his own party for failing to explicitly condemn white supremacy and groups that support it. But as CBS's Jeff Pegues reports tonight, at least one of those groups is welcoming the president's comments.
I'll tell you what. Shortly after the president declined to denounce them, the Proud Boys were online celebrating and claiming victory. On Telegram, a group leader wrote, "Standing down and standing by, sir." Also, a new logo with the president's words appeared. The Anti-Defamation League has been tracking positive reaction from various hate groups, including this one citing more possible violence.
They responded passionately and with tremendous enthusiasm, literally changing their logos and developing memes. So they see this as a call to arms.
The Proud Boys are a far-right group founded in 2016 that often supports white supremacist ideas and violence. In 2018, members of the group were arrested in New York for beating 2 men. Critics say President Trump has a history of not condemning right-wing violence. In Charlottesville in 2017, thousands of right-wing protesters clashed with counter-demonstrators. You also had people that were very fine people on both sides. Last night, Donald Trump Jr. said his father was misunderstood about his Proud Boys comment.
I don't know if that was a misspeak, but he was talking about having them stand down. He's more than happy to condemn that.
Charlottesville was not a hoax, of course, and tonight a representative for the Proud Boys told us that they do not consider the mention during the debate an endorsement, nor do they consider themselves white supremacists.
Yeah, right. Don't clean it up. And look who they got saying that too, right? Look who they got saying it.
Wow, the FBI.
Hefty gays.
A so-called black man, right? He got to come and clean it up. But check this out, family. Are y'all seeing this? They created merchandise. Stand back, stand by. You can get it in multiple colors. $19.99. Where's that? Right on Amazon. Check this one out. Bold with it. Then they got the Blue Lives Matter logo right here with a dog or a wolf. I don't know what that is. What's the symbol behind that? We got to check that out.
Y'all should stay and focus on this apparel, because with all of these gentrified neighborhoods, now you know what this wording and these symbols mean on their attires. Pay attention, family.
It's encrypted messages, family. This is what I'm telling y'all, man. So we got to make sure we are paying attention, yo. Like Keisha said, man, this thing is real, family. These people are out here working with each other. You know what I'm saying? And they not playing no games. You know what I'm saying? So we got to stop playing games with this, man. You know, these people are supporting each other and they organized. We already showed the videos where they going out there training, going to the range, doing archery, doing Krav Maga, whatever them Hasidic Jews martial arts practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't playing no games with this. But right now, like Keisha said, it is a civil war between the far left and the far right. So you got the KKK versus Antifa. Tad broke it down very well before, actually, too, about Trump. Because you got the Illuminati, or whatever you want to call them. And then you got the other side. You know, they warring each other. And really, it's a struggle for power. The power is who controls America. And with America, obviously, that means who controls black people. Because we the culture, we are the strength, we are the builders, we everything when it comes to this. And they already got, for the most part, they got the wool pulled over our eyes. So as long as that wool is over our eyes, family, they're going to be able to control us forever. You know what I'm saying? So let's wake up, stop listening to these damn celebrities telling us to get out to the polls and vote. Who you voting for? Tell me. Who are you voting for, family? Let me know so I could go out and vote. Let me know who's actually going to help us. You know what I'm saying? And you know I'm joking because you ain't going to see me at no goddamn. Matter of fact, I'm past due. I should have retracted my goddamn, what you call it, Keisha? Your position when you are a Democrat or Republican, you can retract that.
Yeah, you can.
You can stop being a Democrat or Republican. It's a term for that. I can't remember right now, but that's what I need to do. Instead of y'all getting these ballots in the mail, we need to be retracting from being a goddamn Democrat and all of these Republican, whatever, until we get an independent black party with a black agenda on the table, family. I mean, we embarrassing ourselves thinking that we could repeat the same mistakes and get a different result.
And that's our history, Brother Ashe. Like you said, independent black party. I told y'all before, the first black man to run for president in this country in 1904, he is right here. George Edwin Taylor. Right here. First black man. And he didn't run Democrat or Republican. He ran right here. The National Negro Civil Liberties Party, 1904. Let's look at Fannie Lou Hamer. Fannie Lou Hamer. Huh? She didn't say join a wicked party. She put herself on the ballot. Here's the ticket right here. I got it for you right here. There's the ticket. Fannie Lou Hamer, 1971. Huh? What she said? What I really feel is necessary that the black people in this country will have to upset the apple cart. We can no longer ignore the fact that America is not the land of the free and the home of the brave. And she didn't tell you to turn in your firearms and turn the other cheek. Here's a quote. She said, I keep a shotgun in every corner of my bedroom. And the first cracker even looked like he want to throw some dynamite on my porch won't write his mama again. Now that's a quote from Fannie Lou Hamer. You want to follow your ancestors? Huh? And for my brother and sisters who are part of the military and law enforcement, we need you. We need you. Follow your ancestors like Martin Delaney. You don't believe me? Read this book right here. 117 facts everyone should know about African Americans in the Civil War. Pick up that book and then turn to page 34. Charleston Harbor hosted, y'all see it?
Yeah.
An armada of more than 100 sailboats and other watercrafts. One vessel in particular was the Planter under the captainship of Robert Smalls. On board the Planter were other notables, including Major Martin Delaney, his son, Toussaint Louverture, Delaney, and Robert Vesey, son of Denmark Vesey.
Wow.
It was the grand day in history of America. It was a grand occasion on the morning of April 12th, the 4th anniversary of the surrender of Fort Sumter. Reverend Henry Ward Beecher, brother of Harriet Beecher Stowe, delivered the invocation.
And what's the name of the book, sir?
The name of the book, 117 facts you should know about African Americans in the Civil War.
So hold up. You got the brother of Harriet Beecher Stowe, the author of Uncle Tom's Cabin. You had Major Martin Delaney.
Come on.
Who worked with Frederick
Abraham
Douglass.
Lincoln.
You had the son of Denmark Vesey, Robbie Vesey. Denmark Vesey was the one who organized the revolt in Charleston, South Carolina that didn't happen because two people snitched.
Come on.
And he organized it at Mother Emanuel Baptist Church, the same church where Dylan Ruth went in and killed the people.
Come on, connect them dots, my brother.
Almost to the date that Denmark Vesey had organized that revolution, but our folks don't know. And then Martin Delaney named his son after Toussaint Louverture, who led the first successful rebellion against colonization and slavery in the Western Hemisphere. Yo, this little paragraph alone, if you know our story, could you imagine how powerful that is to have these people, that bloodline on that ship?
Yep.
Because I never heard that before.
Crazy.
I've never saw that.
They didn't let petty differences get in the way.
No.
They didn't let tribal differences get in the way. They worked together because those men and women who fought in the Civil War bargained for our freedom.
That's right.
So don't let nobody tell you black people never fought for nothing. Are you crazy?
Sis,
go ahead.
Real quick, on the Civil War, I remember we took the young people to the African American Civil War Museum in DC. And I love what the curator asked the young people. He said, who freed the enslaved Africans? And of course, you know, our young children, they don't really know our story that well. So, you know, some said Abraham Lincoln, some said Frederick Douglass, some even said Martin Luther King, but of course they children, they really don't know. And you know what I love the director said? He said, they free themselves. And he told our young people that, and that's what they need to hear, because too many times we give them a victimized history of who we are as a people instead of a victorious one. So what you in essence do is playing in their subconscious that we cannot win. But when you tell them that we are victors, when you tell them who Martin Delaney is, Denmark Vesey, Gabriel Prosser, Toussaint Louverture, Boukman Dutty, Nanny of the Maroon, when you tell them that we've always fought against these people, and many times we were successful, They don't want you to know you're successful. They try to crush the spirit of our young people. That page alone just sent chills through my spine that you posted, sis. But I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I'm gonna give you the mic back. That was powerful, what you showed.
You keep going, brother. Connected those dots and everything. You know, like I say, family, our history is rich here in this country. We didn't just pick the lesser of two evils.
No.
Like, where are you getting this from?
And Tom, sis, Tom,
Go ahead.
many gotta know that Abraham Lincoln only signed the Emancipation Proclamation because of the rebellions that we were having. And he was in fear, not just for the Union, but for white folks, period. We have to be clear, because we were busting heads. We weren't playing. And in fact, he wrote to the British Crown that he needs to do something with the Africans here, because as long as we're here on this soil, they are going to have trouble with us because of our rebellion spirit. That's what he was talking about. And many went to Liberia. Many, they said, you know what, send them to Liberia, because the British Crown had already colonized Liberia. So that was already their land. They said, those who want to go back to Africa, let them go to Liberia. Those who didn't, they stayed. Because remember, many may or may not know that Martin Delany did want to take up arms in a rebellion similar to Nat Turner and Denmark Vesey, but it was Frederick Douglass who kept telling them, wait, we could fight with the white folks. Let's join the Union Army. Let's fight with them. Let's fight with them. They're fighting, you know, thinking that they were a separate bird as opposed to being a separate wing on the same bird. Because remember, Martin Delany did want to fight against everybody. He didn't care if you was from North or South. Martin Delany wanted to fight them all. But it was Frederick Douglass, who he was working with and organizing with at the time, that was telling him to hold on. Let's see what goes on. And that was the same thing with the white man, John Brown, who had his raid on Harper's Ferry, because he thought the Union was marching down. So he acted ahead of time, and that's how his revolt got crushed. But many people don't know that most of the people that fought with John Brown were pretty much black men. He really had only white men that really fought with him were his sons. But the rest of John Brown's militia were black men when they had the raid on Harper's Ferry to rush the Confederate soldiers' armory and take their arms, take their weapons and use it against them, which I always encourage our folks to do this day and time, no matter what the weapon is, whether it's a firearm, whether it's a billy club, whether it's the media, whether it's your dollars, whatever weapon that's used against you, use that weapon against them. Don't care who made the weapon. A weapon is a weapon. Whether it's a screwdriver or an ice pick, or if I just got to stuff your sneaker in your mouth. A weapon is a weapon. So that's what the raid on Harper's Ferry was about, to take their weapons, because John Brown was in talks with Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass and Martin Delany and the likes. So, I mean, we got a rich history that we really don't know about. So to see Trump and Biden sitting there arguing with one another, that's just over who's going to control the blacks. That's why we are always a question whenever it comes to politics, no matter who the president is, and we still walk away empty-handed. Even when Biden was in the Obama administration and we had a quote-unquote black president, we still walked away with nothing, because race was still an issue in the black presidency. And we see during that presidency, that was the murder of Trayvon Martin. That was the murder of Mike Brown. That was the murder of so many of our folks. With the black attorney general. And in fact, there was Obama and what was his name? The attorney general, Eric Holder, who increased the bounty on our queen mother, Assata Shakur, who it was already $1 million bounty. And once these black guys came in, they upped the ante to $2 million to have our queen extradited from Cuba, where she has political asylum, to bring her back here to be convicted of a murder where evidence proved that she couldn't have done it. She was a victim herself. But, you know, these are games that they play with us because they know we're not politically astute, nor are we historically on point. This is right now, this is a point where we need the Black History Hitman to come in and chime in on this one. But, you know, I'm quite sure he got his own stuff to do. But, you know, so when we hear them, and that's why, like Biden said, that Trump is blowing dog whistles, because who would know better than Biden? Because he's blown dog whistles. That stand back and stand by means so much, because as you said at the top of the show, sis, you feel vindicated, because we've always been advocating for pistols and passports. Pistols and passports. I don't want to talk about pyramids no more. I don't want to light no candles and burn no incense. I don't want no specific herbal teas no more, because they're gearing up. And one night he said, stand back and stand by. And within that moment, they already got their uniforms ready. Stand back and stand by, to let you know what their position is. He didn't denounce white supremacy. He gave them their marching orders. But I thought that was a rhetorical question anyway, because all three of them support the system of white supremacy. Because as a senator, Joe Biden could have done so much more. We should have had Dr. Esau on the show so he could talk about his bout with Joe Biden and Beau Biden while he was a professor at Delaware State University, dealing with them and the lynchings that was going on in Delaware that they was keeping the lid on just so they could push Obama forward to rock us to sleep and push, you know, this sexual revolution that they got going on, effeminizing our children. All that was done in the Obama administration too. We got to be clear on when we talk about politics. What are politics? Politics are nothing but policies that are enforced by the police. That's all politics are. They create these new policies that you can't even speak your mind anymore. You can't even be a voice of dissent. And then they try to, and what's funny, and I'm gonna give you the mic, Sister Keisha, Brother Ashe, whichever one y'all want the mic after I say this, but they try to make Trump the whipping boy to oppress other people's rights. Because as much as I don't support the stand back and stand by, why would Amazon shut them down from freedom of speech? That's their right. So that's if we start posting up black love, a black man belongs with a black woman, they could shut us down. And we got to be mindful of the tactics that the enemies use against one another. Because if it's successful on the other, they know it's definitely going to work on us. Like when we had the quote unquote measles outbreaks here in New York, and they were going after Hasidic Jews. And I said a year or two ago, because remember, the Hasidics always use religious exemption not to get vaccinated. And once they start claiming they had a measles outbreak, saying they got to get vaccinated, I said, once they crush the Jews, that means nobody in this country has a leg to stand on in terms of religious exemption when they start trying to force vaccines on us. Welcome to 2020, and what is the talk? But I digress. I'll pass the mic.
Speaking of policies, I don't know if y'all heard, they got a new
Leave me to me on. You better get it on.
Word.
You better get it in.
Word.
Y'all heard about the new policy for the debates? They said Joe Biden, he said after that last debate, his whole campaign, they said they need a new policy for the debates. They said they need to have the moderator able to cut the mics off.
Yeah.
What's going
on?
on?
They need Samuel Jackson. They need Samuel Jackson to moderate. I said 2 minutes, mother.
But yeah, man, but that shows you right there too. It's the same thing like Taz said, it's censoring you. Censoring people. Like they only want you to be able to speak when it's fitting their agenda.
Yes.
You know? So that's what they're gonna do. So don't be surprised if this new debate, if they start cutting people mics off, but it really don't matter because Trump is so egotistical, he gonna talk louder with the mic off. And it's just gonna be more effective for him, and all of his idiot followers is just gonna love it. It's just gonna give them more ammunition to go vote. Because they seeing that, oh, you turning Trump mic off so he can't even speak. You know? So I mean, it's a circus, man, but you know, it's politics, like we said in the beginning, family. And this is the importance of us having our own media platform so nobody can censor us. You know, right now we also need developers and app programmers and things of that nature because we still on the devil's platforms. And like Taz said, we're going to utilize whatever we can to be a weapon or to be a method of healing our people. So that's why we on these platforms. But sooner or later, we definitely got to have our own. We got to have Black platforms, you know, where we could share our information, our videos, get social and things of that nature. Because who's to say that they won't shut us down? It's happened before. When we first started the stream, they hacked into us. They had some little Asian and some white kid was up there playing audios, and I forgot he was talking all kind of crazy stuff. You know, so I mean, they definitely could shut StreamYard down and everything, you know. So this is the importance of supporting independent Black media, family. So when you see us up here, when you see Do the Knowledge Radio, you know, constructive talk, constructive Black talk, we got to support, you know, and shout out to our other brothers and sisters. I don't know if y'all spoke tonight about what's going down in October. Well, it's October now. So we got, 2 weeks into the October Communiversity, the Nat Turner celebration, you know, of the prophet. We working together with some other Black brothers and sisters all across the nation, maybe even international. I know last time they had brothers from the continent and things of that nature. And we working with them, and we are definitely excited to be on that platform and, you know, just hold it down, creating a united front, family, because we have to mix and mingle and work together, put petty differences aside, and build something that's going to last beyond us. We have to create a legacy, family. You know, Ashe always talk about breeding other warriors wherever you go. So I'm doing these events here and there, but at the same time, it's like knowledge. People, when they come out to my events, they seeing Black people. They seeing Black dollars being circulated. They seeing us trusting and sharing and working with each other. You know, so it's a level of consciousness that's subliminally being planted inside of them. And next thing you know, they're going to be on Thorough Black Talk. Like, yo, y'all was telling us about this, what's going on with the assault against our people years ago. But some people just wasn't ready for it. Their eyes wasn't wide enough to see that. So, you know, we are working with our brothers and sisters, man. But I'm really excited for this October Communiversity. It's going to be a whole entire vibe. And it's free, family. It's 100% free. This go around, we actually accepting donations. It's a donation-based platform. So please make sure y'all support. We're going to have some heavy hitters up there. I know Mama Ya is down. I'm not sure if Dr. Baruti is still with it, but I believe he's with it. Some heavy hitters, family. And we doing this work for our people, man. We making sacrifices, our time, our effort, our energy, to really put ourselves and propel our people into the next level, family. I know everybody was excited for 2020. Now look what happened. You know what I'm saying? We on the verge of 2021. What is 2021 going to look like for African people? Are we sitting there and planning? Are we saying, yo, what's going to happen with our family? What's going to happen with our community? After this election happens, it's going to be the same exact thing that's going on before the election, family. I don't really, this is why I'm asking Keisha and Tad, like, what do people that go out and vote think is going to happen after they vote? Even if they vote Trump out and Biden in, what is going to happen, family? Nothing is going to happen positive for our people until we plan it and we execute it. Voting for somebody else to plan our agenda and to plan our future, our 2021, is not going to be effective. It's not going to work, family. We have to plan it. Tag, Keisha, Ashe, we are strategizing, we are building, organizing. We planning for our future. This is what we should be doing as a race, as a Black nation. What is 2021 going to look like for us? Set some goals, some intentions, write them down if you have to. And let's get to work, family. We out here working. Let's get to work, man. So everybody that's supporting, that watch our show, we going to be looking for y'all to be putting in some work. This ain't about us. It's about us collectively, not us three up here. We looking for everybody up here that we preach to the choir to every week to put in some goddamn work, family. Because if you're not putting in no work, then you're not honoring Thorough Black Talk. You're not honoring us if you just coming up here listening every week. I don't rock with that. Don't give me no handshake when you see me. Don't try to hail me up and piece me and say, oh, you like what I talked about. I ain't talking just to talk. I'm talking because I want our generation, our next generation, our children to be free, to not have to worry about sitting in their elementary school feeling like they're in a prison because the coronavirus got the goddamn glass up on their desk. So they sitting looking at their classmate across the desk through a glass. Next thing you know, they going to need a phone. Knock on the wood, put your fist up. Yo, give me some love. They in a goddamn prison right now at elementary school. We should be having our own Black schools. It's a couple of them out there, but we're not doing enough to support Black educators. Homeschooling, you know, things of that nature, donating. We have a lot of work out here to do, family. We got to stop having them kill us. We all know what's happening with us, family, but if we are not planning for 2021, it's going to look like 1921 for our black family. And I'm going to step off with that.
It's facts, brother. It's facts. You know, like you said, we really got to put our nose to the grind. I want everybody to log on to dtc1.org and get your tickets for this community, because when we come through, we coming through with solutions. You know, for example, something we should have on the table right now, as far as education is concerned. Here you have, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Numbers are beginning to rise, if you will, around the world. Why don't the municipalities allot those tax dollars to independent black schools where we can have our own education bubbles, where you don't have to send your children to a school that has a setup like a jail visit.
That's right.
Like this is, I don't know where it is where y'all from, but here look like a jail visit.
And Keisha,
uniforms and all.
Did you hear those rising corona cases, the virus cases that's rising? Check the neighborhoods that they're rising in.
Check it.
Check them. Because the ones here in New York, they talking about Midwood, some parts of Williamsburg. You know what I'm saying? These are not black communities. These are all Hasidic communities where the cases of the coronavirus is rising. And that's because they out there at all of their events, all of their churches or whatever you want to call it, in hundreds of people with no mask on. They're not sanitary. They're not social distancing. And they spreading the goddamn virus amongst each other. So if New York City go back on lockdown, we could thank them. And the crazy part about this is, what's crazier than that, because we already know that that's how they operate. We're not surprised by that. But what's crazy is the fact that the government, the governor, and the mayor ain't gonna do a goddamn thing about it. All they doing is talk. They say, yeah, we're gonna fine you. We're gonna step it up, make it more strict, and fine more people if you not quarantining, if you're not social distancing. They've been saying that for months. When quarantine first hit New York, these Hasidics were never on lockdown, never quarantining. So this has been months now. The governor, Andrew Cuomo, and the mayor, they've been saying, oh, they're going to step the fines up, start arresting people and all of that. Not one goddamn arrest was made when it comes to these so-called Jews. It's all talk. You know, so that's the crazy part. It's like they above the law, it seem like. So why are we not coming together to pull our funds together, to pull our black African minds together and get our own thing going on? You know what I'm saying? We need some
more of these trips. We need some more of these trips. Serious.
When are we really going to be sovereign? You know what I'm saying? We got the Moorish community. We got so many people pushing this sovereignty. But all they doing is talking about sovereignty. And this is not no diss against my brothers and my sisters. But I'm just saying, I want to see some real action happen. I ain't talking about no goddamn paperwork. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about no laws, because we know these devils will write their laws and change their laws. Just like Taz said, policy is just a policy. And every goddamn policy they put forth, they put it out to undermine and oppress our people. And the moment we find a loophole in it that we could try to freak the system and cheat the system, they switch the goddamn policy up. So,
you know what's so crazy about that? Because most of the laws that exist in this country are based in the Constitution, and the Constitution didn't have us in mind when it was written.
Yep.
And Roger Taney made a Supreme Court decision, Dred Scott case. He said that was a ruling. Black people have no rights that white folks are bound to respect. And in fact, one of the dog whistles that Trump blew when they asked him about black folks, and he talked about these multicultural what he said, desensitivity trainings, when he said it's a waste of time and money and offends the people. He said, because imagine, he said they're saying very offensive things. Now they want to make us treat us like these people who don't have a status or something like that. He said that, like people who don't have a status, but they were talking about us. We don't have a status in this country. And it's funny because they stripped us of that. They robbed of us that status. That was our religion, our culture, our God, our folkways, our mores. They robbed us of everything. That's why WAP is a big song right now. That's why, you know what I'm saying, so much of what's representative of us as Black people in this country is the bottom feeders of society. It's these ratchet rappers and these idiotic entertainers, these literal coons and buffoons of Hollywood. That's who they decide to make our spokespeople. Because statistically speaking, they don't want us represented by great minds. They don't want lawyers, people who are versed in the law. They would never let an Alton Maddox represent Black folks ever again. And so many other people that I won't say their name because I don't want them to get targeted, but I'm quite sure they're already targeted. But I don't want to assist in making them a big target. But we got great minds. We got lawyers and we got doctors that and judges that speak on our behalf and in our interests. You know, it's just that we don't have readily access to them because they have to keep us away from their message because they'll provoke thought. Things that they say provoke thought and they don't want us to think. That's why they'll give us a Game and a Snoop Dogg to talk to us. That's why they'll give us an Ice Cube as a spokesperson. That's why they'll let Killer Mike and David Banner get the microphone anytime they want. That's why my song can have a platform and act like he speaks for Black people. And I'm not, let me be clear. I'm not knocking nobody efforts right now or anymore. Because now what I realize is people are functioning at their capacity with the information that they know. I'm quite sure once they learn more, they can do more. But right now they can only function at where they're at. So I would never go to Snoop Dogg and try to get a Black history lesson or any lesson on politics. I just think it's egregious to me that society would even use these people as our spokespeople, but I understand how the game goes. It's chess. It is chess. So all they're going to do is use our pawns against us and act as if they're kings and queens and things like that. Because these people don't know their elbows from their tail. But they'll put them on their medium and say, all right, Snoop Dogg has spoke for the gang culture. He spoke for the urban city. But seldom will you have any real grassroots organizers on those platforms. You'll never see a Fred Hampton Jr. up there because they won't allow it. They won't allow Fred Hampton Jr. to get up there. When we talk about education, you'd be hard-pressed to get a Dr. Walima Baruti, who they know is a certified college professor. They won't let a brother like Marcus Klein, who's highly educated, who's been proven that his methods work to educate young Black children in our community. If you want to stop crime in our community, then let us educate our own children and let us build our businesses and flourish. But what they do understand, what history has taught them, is that when they leave us alone into our own vices, we surpass them. Not only do we develop and correct ourselves, but we surpass them and put them back where the Banals of history have brought them. Because remember, they're the Johnny-come-latelys in terms of species on the planet. We've been here for millions of years. They only been here for a few thousands of years. So they don't want to go back to that position. And they'll fight tooth and nail not to go back to that position. They don't want to be the bottom of the barrel no more. They refuse to go back to them caves unless it's of their own volition. They don't want to go back to them icy hills in the Caucasus Mountains. They just don't. And that's what they fight for. They fight for their survival. And we can't knock them. You know, the sad part is we're not fighting hard enough for ours. And that's where the problem comes in. And that's why we speak to our people. Because white folks is doing what white folks are supposed to do. Take care of themselves and their family. Now we got to do what we got to do. Every other group is doing it but us. And it's unfortunate that we point the finger and do the blame game. But if I'm on the basketball court and my opponent is slam dunking on me, I'm not going to keep pointing at him like, look what he's doing. Nah, I'm going to gather my team. We're going to go back and huddle at the bench and come up with a better game plan. And we're gonna start hitting 3-pointers and half-court shots, and we're gonna start slam dunking. Because that's what all of these conversations that we have, all of this knowledge that we spit and spew, as Sister Keisha pointed out with that one single page, Martin Delaney, Robert Vesey, all of these people, they weren't fighting on who's the better team and whose idea was better. It's like, nah, we just got to come together as a collective and let's just go straight ahead. Let's just move forward. Unfortunately, what we got right now, we got the Black Lives Matter movement, confusing folks. We got gay is the new black, confusing folks. We got all of these things, got our people head spinning around. But who's our advocate? So it's upon us to advocate for ourselves, for the things that we need, for the things that our children need. Because sure enough, you brought up legacy building, Ashe, and you're 100% right. Because I ain't gonna go to those who robbing me of my legacy and ask them to help me build my legacy, or even ask for what they took from me. If I'm in the street and somebody robbed me for my gold chain, I'm not going back to ask them for my gold chain. I'm gonna call my mans in them, and we going back and we getting my chain. We're not asking for nothing. But unfortunate, the system that we in has done brainwash and mind screwed us. As a matter of fact, speaking of brainwashing, I'm gonna step down off my soapbox. I think all our folks should read the book called Brainwash by Tom Burrell. You got to get that book. It's an easy read. It's excellent. It's called Brainwash. The man is still alive. He's not dead. It's just an excellent book that deals with the past and the present and what we should do for the future. But I digress.
And that makes you think too when it comes, like you said, Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? Like Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, these people that they put before us that make it seem like leaders. How come none of them ain't get murdered? How come they on the platform and they speaking for so long, get the biggest amount of followers and watchers and viewers to see them talk about this? Diddy could do a town hall meeting. And these people are supposed to be for us, for our people, by any means necessary. But none of them don't get murdered. None of them don't get infiltrated, assassination attempts, nothing like that. But when we had real people, real leaders that were genuine for our people, like Malcolm X, like we said earlier, Queen Assata Shakur, Khalid Muhammad, so on and so forth, even Fred Hampton. So many real leaders that were true to this, they got murdered. So real recognize real, and they ain't real, but they still recognize what's real and what's fake. And they are giving the platform freely for these so-called revolutionaries that are out here in front of the people. Matter of fact, Obama, didn't he get on the phone and tell LeBron when LeBron and them said, nah, with Breonna Taylor, they said, nah, we not playing no more. LeBron said that. He said, nah, we not playing. This was after they stopped playing. They came back to play. Yep. And then they said, nah, we not playing again. Nah, we serious about this. Obama got on a goddamn phone and said, no, LeBron, y'all need to reschedule the season, continue with it, and use your platform to bring attention to what's going on. Now, what happened? Every time you watch you turn on the NBA show, the game, the first thing you see is Black Lives Matter on the court. Right on the court. Black Lives Matter, big ass logos on every stadium, on every court. So what was Obama telling LeBron to share his platform for? He said, nah, we just that's fresh paint on that court, LeBron. You better get out there and play that game, LeBron. That paint ain't dry yet. We spent money on that paint. These viewers got to see this Black Lives Matter and get brainwashed, like Tad said. So now you got people that don't even agree with the Black Lives Matter organization saying, oh, no, but we agree with that Black Lives Matter. We agree with that, So now it's become, it's in history now. It's official. So if you don't like it, too bad. We don't like it. It's in history already. This time period is coined the Black Lives Matter era that we live in.
And so, you know what's crazy? Real quick, I'll shake, because sure enough, as we see Black Lives Matter painted all around the country, not just Fulton Street right here at the Restoration, not just in Washington, D.C. And I said, look how easy it is to placate black folks. They paint over the blood that they spilled in the streets with Black Lives Matter. How ironic is that? All they did was paint over the blood that they spilled as if it didn't happen. And we don't even see that as an insult, because how does that really help our situation and condition? Because all of these Black Lives Matter streets were painted before the verdict of Breonna Taylor. You know what I'm saying? So how does that really help us? They don't care. They know you could just throw us a bone and we happy with it. Because I didn't ask for the streets to be painted Black Lives Matter. I'm not even asking for justice. I'm not asking these folks for anything except just leave me alone. That's the only thing I want. I don't want no justice in their courts. I don't want no. Oh, I need some money though. Definitely need my check. That's it. Leave me alone. Give me my money. Give me what I earned. That's all you can do. Give me what I earned and leave me alone. It's only, and I'm not asking for what I earned. I'm asking you to leave me alone, but I'm demanding you cut that check. You know, but I'm sorry. I should go ahead, man.
Nah, you're right. You're right, man. It's just like you said, it's the brainwashing, man. You know, because then even the Black Lives Matter, which is supposed to be good, in some cities, it turns into all Black Lives Matter. You know, right. So now you don't got just a red, black, and green flag. You got the rainbow painted on it. You know, so you see in the transition slowly but surely. So if this is the Black Lives Matter era, what's the era after this? You understand? Because now we got so many like quote unquote revolutionary. It's like we don't even want to use the goddamn word revolutionary no more. Or revolution. If they attaching themselves to it, then I must be something different. You know what I'm saying? Tad and Keisha, we something different. That's why we say we insurrectionists. And you ain't never gonna hear none of these Snoop Dogs, Ice Cubes, Filler Mikes. You ain't never gonna hear them talk about no goddamn insurrectionists. Because if you say something like that, then all of their little white friends that they got, and trust me, they got them. They'll tell you they got white friends. They gonna know clearly. It's a signal, just like Trump. When he sent his messages, it's encrypted, but at the same time, it's blatant. But certain things, some black people can't say. And that's why they put, what was his name, Keisha, the one that was on with the video I just shared? They put him to talk in front of the people. The black news anchor that I just shared.
For days.
Yeah, they put him up there. They put certain news anchors and certain celebrities up there. Because if they start talking a little radical, a little too black, you know what I'm saying? That's when they're going to pull your whole career. Because they know you actually have the power to influence these people. But the people that they're putting before the people now is just influencing these people to get watered down more and more and more. Be non-violent with people that's being violent with us. You know what I'm saying? Be humble. And like Ty said, sip some herbal tea with people throwing shots at us, stabbing us, taking organs and all of that craziness. So, I mean, ain't it a point you're supposed to fight fire with fire? You know what I'm saying? So
that's what Fannie Lou Hamer said.
Uh-huh.
I'm following what she said. Keep a shotgun in every corner of my bedroom. And the first cracker even looked like he want to throw dynamite on my porch. Won't write his mama again. That's what our ancestors said.
Ashe.
Yeah.
So, you know, and if you doubt it, if you want to research a little further of what Donald Trump and Joe Biden meant by law and order, pick up this book.
Yes.
Pick it up.
And sis, touch on that, because we got about 15 minutes. But I definitely wanted to touch on that because that was another dog whistle that Trump just kept saying, law and order, law and order. And notice Biden wouldn't say law and order because that's a dog whistle. That's open. I think Barry Goldwater actually was popularizing that phrase, law and order. And when he talked about law and order, that was to keep black folks in quote unquote, keep us in our place. Because remember, us being oppressed was the law. Slavery was legal. Black codes was illegal. Segregation was legal. Jim Crow was legal. So when he say law and order and we ask, why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? Because it is the law. Negro, and you ain't got no rights. Roger Taney already told you. So when we hear them talk about law and order, they're literally talking about the oppression of black people. Please, let's be clear about that part. And that's why it took Joe Biden, because Joe Biden knows that some of us know what that means about law and order. Because to the untrained ear, yeah, everybody want law and order. Yeah, you want law and order. You want things, you want everybody to follow the rules and act accordingly. Yeah, but when they use law and order, please be clear. They're using it in a racial context. And in fact, that's when they brought it up, when they were talking about what you're going to do for black people. Trump was talking about law and order. We have to be clear. Those are the little nuances and dog whistles that they really whistle. And those were popularized by Barry Goldwater and Bull Connor and all these other racist people that sick the dogs on us and was busting our heads out there. It was under the guise of law and order. Please be clear. And that's why Trump just kept saying law and order, law and order, law and order.
Because remember, when he said that too, he also said he asked Biden to name an organization of law enforcement that supports him. And Biden was silent. He didn't say a goddamn word. So that proves to Tad's point that he's talking in a racial context, and also he's speaking directly to and about the goddamn police.
Right.
You know?
He has his standing army. Trump has his standing army. That's why he was speaking to them in terms of law and order, because as we already uncovered at least 5 years ago, that race soldiers have infiltrated law enforcement. Now, that's the FBI report. That ain't our report. That's their own report. That white supremacists have infiltrated the law enforcement community around the country. That is,
they infiltrated. They've been the goddamn law enforcement from the beginning.
Right. Right. So not only do we have law enforcement on the side, but now he has this civilian militia, which according to the Second Amendment of the Constitution is perfectly legal, which it's just like we don't get that part, that we should exercise our Second Amendment right. Everybody keep talking about the right to vote. Well, I want to exercise my right to bear arms too. How about that? But we never talk about that right. We only talk about the right that don't produce any fruit for us. Maybe in the local elections, yeah, maybe in our community, but we talking about a national struggle right now. We're talking about our future in the nation. Our communities are already being crushed. So I don't know how much voting locally is really helping us, because if it was, we wouldn't have been gentrified. Huh? Try that part. All over the country. So we got to stop this little futile rhetoric that ain't getting us nowhere. It's antiquated, it's old school, it's played out. And that's why the kids don't want to hear us, because we keep trying to tell them to do something that should work for them, that didn't work for us, that didn't work for grandma, that ain't work for grandma's grandma. If it ain't worked this far, how are we going to put that on our kids? Like, are we serious? I digress. I'm sorry.
You're right. And you know, I love when my brother just come in and bring it home, just connect the dots for us all. But Sister Marie, here's the book again. Dial 911 and die. The shocking truth about the police protection myth. Okay? And when you read it, you'll wonder, you'll know why when they roll up, they fire first. And
God bless Tamir Rice.
If you doubt anything or you want to know the legal premise of what these political candidates are saying, you should pick up this book, Race, Law, and American Society, 1607 to present, Gloria J. Bond Marshall. Pick that up, get you some insight and information. And, you know, you always wonder, you know, why all the politicians always throw up the same hand signs. You know, they do this a lot. What does this mean? What does this mean? They do that a lot. They're communicating with each other. And they're communicating with the rest of the world. Tonight, I want you to see what these symbols are, and what they mean. This is what it means.
Don't forget that one.
Come on. Come on. You see what it means? Y'all figure this out? You understand? The 14 words. We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children, or at least commonly used. A future for our own. These are the 14 words. So when they throwing up the little Nixon peace sign, you know what it means.
Yep.
When they throwing up the thumb sign, you know what it means. They talking to each other. White supremacy must be maintained at all costs. Even these judgeships, you know, the recent appointment by President Trump, they don't care about your educational background. They don't care about you. Tell me on the bench right now, what are some of the most precedent cases as it relates to Black people through these justices? There are none. There are none. They just want you to be the gatekeeper, like Cameron down there in Kentucky, marrying Mitch McConnell's niece, lying. Didn't even present the charge to the grand jury. I told you he was a gatekeeper. It's what they do. It's not what you know, how great you are. You tell each kids, go to school, be the best that you can be. They don't care about that. They want you to be a gatekeeper. A white supremacy. You saw Trump blatantly tell you what it is, and Biden subtly tell you what it is. You still get raped. Just different methods of rape. But you know, when you have these groups like Antifa, the Proud Boys, Rise Above, Boogaloo Boys, whatever group there are, they come in and wreak havoc. They protest against one another, throwing out guns and gang signs, because that's what this is. Gang signs.
What?
Gang signs. You know, they do it with us. Gang signs. But nobody goes to the people who are funding both parties. Their neighborhood wasn't touched. Nothing was burned. They didn't have to board up the buildings. Nobody goes to where the money is. Central Park West. Let me give you 5 addresses of the people who are funding both parties. The people who are keeping the real boots on your neck. 55 West on 53rd Street. 111 West 57th Street, the Steinway Tower. 157. Central Park West. 225, 57 in Central Park West. 220 Park South. Nobody bothers those neighborhoods. They are the wealthiest addresses in this nation. Nobody went up there. Nobody talks about that. But we do here. We're running out of time. We're coming down to the end. We have so much to unpack. We couldn't even get to it all, family, because we want to expose how both parties use our people. We want to expose how Joe Biden is the master of identity theft. That's how he got into power. He lied about his existence, and he's still doing it. How he borrows other people's stories. How he knows how to coddle Black Americans. But he did it as a child, as a young youth, as a lifeguard, befriending Black swimmers who came to the swimming pool where he was a lifeguard. We wanted to expose how Donald Trump got his philosophy, where it came from, who he studied. But we ran out of time. Hopefully next week we can get into it and break it all down for you. They use the same talking points, the same rhetoric. You know, Biden did horrible in the debate against Trump. So now they're going to trot out all of these folks like this in front of you and tell you to vote. Vote. No explanation. What you going to get? So we got a lot to discuss. We got a lot to unpack. We're going to get into it hopefully next week with this footage that we have, because I look for things to try to make it simplistic for our people so that it's easy for you to digest. And so, you know, the ancestors was working with me. I was working on putting clips together, but something great just fell into my lap. So I had to share with my brothers earlier today. And it worked out just perfect because this is our time, family. This is our time. So again, I hope you all go to www.dtc1.org because at this event, we are going to give you solid solutions that you can do right here, right now as a collective. I don't care about your tribal beefs. You know, that doesn't mean anything to me. You need to be at this event, so get your tickets. You got to stay focused, stay fit. Please follow Brother Tad on Better Days Ahead Fitness. Do what you can to get yourself together. This weekend, Brother Ashe is back again with Solid Africans basketball event. If you're in the Brooklyn area, come through, pull up.
Yo, this is going to be a whole vibe, y'all. This is going to be a whole entire vibe. This is going to be a yearly thing, family. Real talk. It's about to be I'm about to do a tournament, matter of fact. But this event is a workout event. It's a whole entire vibe, fam. Just make sure y'all follow Solid African on YouTube, on Facebook, everything, man. I mean, the Skills and Drills Challenge, it's going to be dope, man. I'm working with these brothers. They actually do this for a living. They set up like this basketball obstacle course. You got the cones, you got the ropes, you got the track. You can run around the track. You got to do some dribbling. They're going to teach you the handling skills as well as doing some calisthenics and things of that nature. And then we're going to follow it up with a friendly game, family. So trust me, it's going to be real fun, but it's also going to be a workout. Get your post-pandemic workout on. So make sure y'all follow Solid African. And, of course, we supporting Black-owned businesses because these brothers actually do this for a living. They were working in the schools, and unfortunately, because of Corona and the schools being out, the brothers were not working. So you are all going to be supporting a good cause, you know, letting the brothers do their job, getting you in shape, as well as supporting Black-owned businesses, family. So make sure y'all support Solid African on Facebook, Instagram, and, you know, this Sunday, man, come out. If y'all in the NYC area, it's going to be a whole entire vibe, man. Real talk.
All right, so family, we want to thank y'all all for tuning in, for rocking out with us. Hopefully you heard something that inspired you tonight. So now it's your turn to go out and inspire others. So y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. And remember, no matter how hard things may seem right now, there's always better days ahead. Peace. Brother Ashe?
Yeah, man, yo, we're going to have to unpack this like Sister Keisha said. We didn't break down, show all of the videos of how devilish Joe Biden really is. Sister Keisha went in a vote, pulled it up. So we definitely going to present that to y'all within the next week or the following week. You know, it's 3 debates. So after all of these debates, we're going to give you a black debriefing on what these things mean, the encryption messages that Trump and Biden are sending and who they sending it to, and how we should be responding as a Black nation, family, so we can get right. So make sure y'all follow Thorough Black Talk on all platforms. Please share this video right now when it ends so we can get the message out to more people. And yeah, follow us, Solid African. Make sure y'all follow if y'all want to get invitations to the next Cash Mob. Since Keisha pulled up, spent a whole bunch of Black dollars. You know what I'm saying? Got some fly stuff. Matter of fact, that's your mask in the back. I see right there. She got her fresh stuff right there in the back. Some African joints. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
Straight from Ghana. Straight from Ghana.
Yeah.
Ain't Chinese made.
Ashe, we workers, family. You know what I'm saying? So support the real when you see it. Thorough Black Talk. Always remember, this is your brother Ashe SJ, letting you know that true courage is knowing how to suffer. It's your brother Ashe SJ. Always keep it thorough, family. Sister Keisha.
Family, again, as my brothers said, thank you all for tuning in, getting this information and sharing this information and discussing things and analyzing things from a Black perspective, straight from the street, how we do it. This is our block, Thorough Black Talk. So make sure you tune in every week and tell someone to tune in. Again, family, pay attention. Pay attention to the signs. Don't fall for the okie doke. You know, if you have an event and you need a political analysis or an analysis of what's going on,
Yeah.
You can hit up your sister Keisha right here. Shoot us an email at therealones336@gmail.com. Shoot me an email or Facebook message, and we'll make it happen. We got a lot of things to do, and now is the time to move. So, family, we out. We love y'all. Y'all stay safe. Get fit. Get fit. Because these people, man, they training like it's no tomorrow. And I can't wait for next week. We're going to unpack the devilish ways that these people woo you to voting for them and giving you nothing in return. And I like to have good white sources, because when we tell you, when Steve Coakley told you, nobody listened. Now I know you like good white reputable sources, so we found some for you. But anyway, y'all stay safe. I hope to see y'all at the event this weekend.
Yeah.
I'll be in the park this Sunday. For those who want to join me in the park, I will be there this Sunday, possibly around 10 a.m. normally, but let's make it happen. Let's get serious. So we out, family. Y'all stay safe.
Yeah.
We out.